What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. Just want to show you the best way to wire bus bars on your classic Silverado 2500. So this is my 2006 Silverado 2500 HD LT with the 6.6 turbo diesel. This is the LBZ. Check out some of my other videos if you're interested in checking out some of the other work I've done to this truck. Installed this S&B cold air intake. The EGR was deleted when I bought it. Installed a straight pipe exhaust, eliminated the catalyst, bunch of other mods, DSP5 switch, and now I'm working on installing some bus bars because I plan to run accent lighting, lift pump, and also heaters for the lift pump as well. So I wanted to have some extra points to mount all these different accessories, especially once I get into the accent lighting. So I want to show you what I did here. So I have the positive bus bar over there mounted on top of the fuse box cover. And then I have waterproof fuse holder, mega fuse holder with 150 amp fuse, and then that runs to my positive terminal there. So I have two 15-inch long 2.0 jumper cables going to my positive on the driver's side battery. Okay, one 15-inch jumper cable right there going to the 150 amp waterproof fuse box fuse holder, then another 15-inch jumper going to the actual bus bar itself. And I just drilled 4 holes in the fuse box cover, and I used little machine screws. I think they were number 10 machine screws with lock nuts and lock washers and washers. So it really holds it nice and tight. It's really sturdy. And then what I also did, just to make sure this lid is solid, I installed some 3M dual lock double-sided Velcro tape on all sides. So that keeps this lid from, moving around and flopping around. It's pretty solid, especially once I close the hood. This will actually come into contact with this hood liner, and that'll put some pressure down on it so it's not going to, wobble around. And then here is the negative. I have this 2.0 inverter cable that I bought at Harbor Freight. I'm about to attach it to the negative. I want to show you how I wired these to the negatives and the positives, because these batteries from the factory don't come with mountable studs. So I had to go to Advanced Auto Parts and buy these extended studs. So they're basically just studs that go into these batteries, but then they have a little threaded portion sticking out the back with a corresponding nut. And then I added a lock washer, and that'll let you attach accessories. And so that's how I have these connected. But over here, what I did was I put 3 6mm Allen head screws, and I used U-clips. And this is the metal cross member here, okay, that goes across the hood. And so I just drilled right into that metal cross member and used the U-clips, and then the Allen screws with lock washers. Let me get around on the other side so you can see. So here are the 3 U-clips clipped to the metal here. Okay, you see the metal cross member. That's easy to drill. I think this is even aluminum. I don't know if it's magnetic or not. I have to check, but and it's holding real tight. I mean, it's not moving at all. It's not wobbling at all. And then this one's real tight. Okay. And then there's my waterproof fuse holder. And just for extra protection, I wrapped the ends here with some Gorilla Tape because a little bit of the lugs were sticking out. and you know, we do have metal here, and then we have the hood, so we don't want to have a short to ground. So I just wrap the ends with some Gorilla Tape, and then any kind of metal that it could potentially contact. You see right here, there's some screws. I just covered that with some tape so there's no exposed metal. Okay, so there's no short to grounds. But then here, what I did with this dual lock tape, I basically sticked it over the top of the fuse box lid, and I folded one side over on itself. So if I need to take this off, see what I did? Folded it over, and then that holds the lid secure. You know, this dual lock stuff is really strong, and it doesn't give at all. It was a little wobbly before, but now it's real tight. As you can see, it's not wobbling. So those are the studs I use. That's just Die Hard. I got them from Advance Auto. Duralast is another one. They're a little bit tricky. They're kind of a pain to use with the factory lugs, because you see the rubber boot that you see the hex, the brass hex part. That doesn't fit into the rubber boot because the factory bolt is round and it's not a hex. So it's kind of a hassle taking these off, especially in this tight space here, getting that hex to fit perfectly in that boot, and then getting the bolt started can be a little bit of a hassle. That's the only downside with these extended studs. But other than that, I mean, it gives you so much capability as far as attaching things. There's a lot of room there to attach things directly to the battery. I have them on my other battery over there on the passenger battery, but I'm gonna run my winch directly to that one. So that one I'm leaving alone, and this one I'm gonna run my accessories to. But I think this is perfect. So yeah, that's how you want to do it, guys. This is the best way to do it. Another thing too is, you notice I have the boxes separated on opposite sides, so there's no chance of something shorting out. You know, if I'm, you know, let's say connecting an accessory to this one, accidentally touch that one, they're, you know, good couple feet apart here, probably about 2 feet apart. So you know, and actually the hood will still close, no problem. There's still plenty of room. You know, I can show you right now. You can see the hood is pretty deep here, so it'll close no problem and leave plenty of room for extra wires as well for my accessories. But yeah, this is the best way I found to install bus bars on your Silverado, so or your Sierra Classic Series, you know, 2000 to 2007. I'm not too familiar with the newer ones, 2007 and beyond, but very familiar with these classic ones. So just wanted to show you guys this. So we're just gonna do the final connection here. I just got to run this massive cable somewhere. You notice I put loom. I always put loom on all my cables here, okay, because over time that insulation will dry, and you know, there's a lot of heat in your engine bay, you know, heat, cold, heat, cold. It's not good for the insulation on the wires, and you know, it's easy to rub the wires off the insulation if you're working inside the vehicle, or just from vibration. So always put loom on all your cables here. But we'll do the final connection now, and just wanted to show you guys this. So this is how I would recommend you guys doing it. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And these are the bus bars I use. The brand had really good reviews on Amazon. I'll leave a link. These are the Join F World 500 amp bus bars. Okay, they have 4 5/16 studs and 2 3/8 studs. Okay, so you see the 2 big ones in the middle, 3/8, and then 4 on the outside are 5/16, which gives you a lot of flexibility. So but if you have any questions, let me know. Don't forget to add a fuse, okay, and just be very cognizant of, you know, especially with the positive, where you're running your positive, so you don't accidentally short to ground, because you can do some serious damage. You know, all it takes is one accident you know, just wrenching around, or you have a loose cable that hits something, or, you know, this comes loose out on the highway and it contacts the hood. So if you're going to be running anywhere near metal, make sure you wrap the metal. As you see, I wrapped it here with Gorilla Tape. So even if something were to come loose, you know, God forbid, there's not going to be a short to ground anywhere, because it's all protected, covered up. And then even the hood here's got the insulation on it. So I may actually even slap some Gorilla Tape up here just in case. But yeah, this is the best way to do it, guys. And make sure when you're doing this, connect everything first and then do your final connection. You know, once you have everything bolted down, ready to go, you know, even put your cover on and then make your connection. Don't connect it first and then have this hot wire, you know, flopping around while you're connecting here. That's a recipe for disaster. Okay, so you want to bolt everything up, connect everything, you know, away from the battery, have everything fully set up, zip tied down, bolted down, tied down, whatever. And then once everything is good to go, then you make your connection to the battery. Okay, otherwise it's you know, risky to have, very risky to have stuff flopping around. Really, you should disconnect both negatives when you're doing stuff like this. But just wanted to show you guys the finished product here. So here's our negative. It's really sturdy here. Those bolts really hold it well. And then there's this bar over the battery, and I just ran the cable this way, zip tied to that bar, went around this bump stop for the hood, zip tied over there. And what you'll notice is I have electrical tape on this bar wherever this cable goes over the bar, just in case, God forbid, sometime in the future. I mean, I don't think this would ever happen, but you really never know. If there were just vibrations that would wear away the loom and then wear away the insulation on this wire, if it came into contact with that bar, at least there would be some electrical tape protecting it. But I don't think that'll ever happen. That's just me going overboard. And then so I ran it here, around there, and then down to the negative. And then if you'll notice, I have a lock washer, just a lock washer. That's it. Doesn't have to be super crazy tight. And then there's the positive going over there, 150 amp waterproof mega fuse holder coming around here by the brake cylinder. And then here we have the positive. So that's pretty much it, guys. Now, taking this battery out, if you ever had to change your battery, would be a big pain, because you'd have to disconnect all this. It wouldn't be too bad, but it would definitely be more of a pain than without all this stuff attached. But how often do you really change your batteries? You know, once every couple of years, if anything. So I'll probably actually have to change these batteries before next winter, but for now this is good enough. So, oh, one thing you notice here inside the engine bay, I really don't like trimming zip ties, because if I have to come in here and do something and you have those sharp tips, I can really cut your skin bad. So like even over here, for example, when I was doing the PCV reroute, you notice I didn't cut these zip ties. I just leave them you know, just like that. You know, as long as they're not going to be coming into contact with anything moving, it doesn't really matter. So I like to just keep it that way. So if I'm in here working on something, I don't have sharp cut zip ties scratching me. But that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Just do the final test, close the hood, make sure everything fits. Cross our fingers, say a quick prayer, make sure it all fits. But you can actually check it out right now. We're gonna slam the hood shut. Here's the live test. All right, here we go. Perfect, no issues at all. Hood closes perfectly. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it useful. Check out my off-roading and truck playlist for all my off-roading and truck content. And until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.